Ah, shit.
Oh mince.
Manage.
Dank nochmal.
Droge. Danach. Get away.
There were 72 players, now only 12 remain. This is the first semifinal. The stakes are high as only 3 players move on to the final table. $125,000 is up for grabs to the tournament winner and the right to call themselves the European champion.
We've seen the best from around the globe, all battling it out to take home part of this $360,000 prize pool. Now, we've reached our final 12, only one of whom can be European champion.
Joining me tonight is the Razor, Ian Fraser. Now, Ian, exciting stuff at semifinal time, and a big difference in structure because the game will stop when there's 3 players left, and those 3 will take their chips forward to that final table and, of course, meet the 3 from that other semifinal for all the money.
Yeah, and any amount of chips that they go through with, Jesse, you know, they'll be over the moon with. It doesn't really matter. You just need to go through.
So it's really about survival then, more than accumulation?
Yeah, being very patient, hope that someone else, you know, knocks a couple of guys out and you get an easy passage. I mean, if you have to play an hand, you play a big hand and get all your chips in as quick as possible, but leave the medium hands alone.
It's funny because you won 2 final tables in this format, and I don't think either time you had the chip lead at the final table. But a lot of guys would say it's important to really try and grind it here in the semis to have that big chip lead for the final table.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. I did go in one final with the short stack, Jesse. I think it was only about 70-odd thousand. Again, in the semis, you can only lose, you know. I'd go through, I'd take anything. I'd take 50,000 to go through to the final because you still got a shot to win it. So be patient, play the big hands as best you can.
Yeah, and hold your nerve, presumably. It's always important. So let's see who's sitting at tonight's semi-final table.
Retired dental surgeon Clive Layton. Roofer and builder Scott Fenton. Our first man through to this stage, takeaway Dave Gregory. Captain Jez Bailey, the pride of Wolverhampton. World Series of Poker finalist John McGill. And from the Gutshot Club, it's Nick Purcell.
All these players have made it through the toughest part of this competition, and now they're sitting with the cream of the crop. How will they fare? Let's head over to the table and get this game started.
Blast off into the wide open space. Is this the first semi-final of the PartyPoker.com European Open 3? Everybody at this table's a winner, but only 3 will make it to that final table. Good form. And Dave Gregory probably has the most experience from this position. He's made a couple of semifinals in this format, but never made it through to that final table. Nor has John McGill, who also fell at this stage last time around. So it'll be a clever balance between who wants to gamble and who wants to survive. Players will start this heat, as always, this semi-final heat, with 100,000 in starting chips, but they won't need to get them all. Any chips they have when this game goes three-handed will make it through to that final table. And the yellows, of course, are 1,000. The blues are 2. The reds are 5,000. Jesse May joined by last year's champion, Ian Fraser. And Ian, one thing you can say, looking at this lineup, is the quality of the field in this tournament was strong. 6 good players here.
Yeah, well, they're all winners, Jesse, as we know. I'm excited to see how this is going to start off because I've been hearing a couple of them are saying they're going to come out firing. They're not going to sit back and wait. So let's see how it goes, the first round of cards out.
Well, if you could try and get in the players' heads here, looking around, who do you think is ready to be the most aggressive?
Well, you'd immediately look at Dave Gregory, wouldn't you? But, I mean, they've been here before and haven't made it through to the final, Jesse, so it'd be a case of once bitten, twice shy.
Raise to 6,000 total.
Yeah, remembering Nick Perceau in his heat, he just went completely mad for the first level.
He did, yeah.
And maybe settled down a little bit. But I just wonder, obviously that's a real hand for Perceau on the button this first hand, the ace-9. Wonder if he's going to try and dictate the action here. Nice flop for him.
Yeah, nice flop.
And
Check.
probably the best thing is it's completely missed Fenton.
8,000.
He's going to just take this pot here.
Should imagine so, Jesse. You know, he's got to come out and bet his ace here. I know it's a scary flop, but he's still got to bet it.
Obviously a king would make Fenton a straight, but
yeah, he actually in his heat we saw Jesse. He got a massive card rush, didn't he? He was hitting aces all over the show. It just seemed like every time he looked at his cards, he had one under there.
It did first pot to Nick Perceau. Scott Fenton, some would say, had the toughest battle to get here. I know he got big cards, but he was up against Andy Greekfish and a very tough German player.
He wants to put me all in. You want to put me all in.
Christian Schultz, I believe his name was.
Good heat. Very good heat.
I'm the rock on the table.
And Luke Patton, of course, was in there briefly as well. As Luke often is.
Well, Luke either gets the chip lead or he's out, isn't he?
There's Jez Bailey, of course, Captain Jez Bailey. Really, it's funny. You look around this table, and all these guys, you think, well, he dominated his heat. He dominated his heat. Who can win the battle of the captains?
Pass.
But, John McGill making it 6,000 on the Kojak in hand number 2.
Yeah, and ain't that big a hand, Jesse. You know, second to act, King Jack, but he's obviously come out to play it.
A lot of guys would have folded that hand, so certainly an indication of his sensibilities here,
sure.
right?
Second hand in.
And, Dave Gregory peeling off the flop with an ace-7, which a lot of people think is a pretty trashy hand as well in the big blind.
Yeah, not a lot of chance of it in his ace. There's 2 been passed.
McGill, does he have the initiative here?
Well, they both do, Jesse. 2 really, really top-class players here.
Last couple of weeks we've been worrying about people letting opportunities go to steal pots. Between Gregory and McGill, they wouldn't leave too many biscuits on the table, would they?
Yeah,
I mean, take them all.
You won't be picking up any crumbs here.
So that pot to McGill with the bet on the flop. And I mean, you've played in this semi-final stage a couple times, Ian. It gets very cagey when it gets down to like 4 players, because if you have the chip lead, I seem to remember last year, if you played
four-handed for ages and ages, Jesse. It was just so incredible. You know, 1 minute I was chip leader, then I had the lowest stack. It was just incredible what was going on.
I just wonder if even more scary than trying to get to the the final table with a short stack is if you get to that 4-handed with a short stack, they really press on you.
Yeah, yeah, and everyone knows what's going on, and that they all apply the pressure to you constantly.
7,000 total.
Fenton from the button with the 7-4 suited. This is a man with a plan.
Well, he's not going to sit around and wait, is he?
No. And of course, don't forget that Fenton, along with John McGill, had some very good form in the World Series this year. And most people who did well in the World Series this year rock and rolled. I mean, didn't hang about. Except, of course, Steve Davis.
3 hands played with 3 raises in already, and not with fantastic cards, Jesse. So this might be the precedent being set here already.
Yet to see a premium hand out there, have we?
Well.
And this is the Nick Perceau we saw in his heat. No fear for that first raise. You haven't gotten to watch that heat back yet, have you, Ian? But I got news for you.
Don't tell me. And I thought he played pretty solid.
Re-raise here from Dave Gregory.
16,000.
And what's Jez Bailey up to? He's cold out of the small blind.
God knows, he just must think that he's card